slogan or the subject of this symposium is from the diversity of beliefs to human unity based on trans-universality educated in civil university. What does it mean? It means that we have a lot of beliefs, a lot of faces, but people is separated by this, and we want the people to be united. And what we, like WPF Forum, have reached for the past 6 years. First of all, the dialectal symposia became an annual tradition. We already have our meeting for the 7th time, and of course this is a fact which should attract the people, but of course it is would be likely if we will have more participants in our event, but of course it lasts 1 week, and the people cannot afford to be out of their everyday occupation, and therefore they visit us, and we shall meet them during the days later. So, what another result we have reached? We have opened World Philosophical national branches in about 50 countries. Last year we have adopted the Universal Constitution of Earth and started the formation of global citizenship of Earth citizens. We are fostering the civic education worldwide as the only way to keep peace on Earth and secure surrounding nature. This, our activity, is supported by United Nations and by UNESCO. World Philosophical Forum became a well-known brand worldwide. Last year, we held the Constitutional Convention to adopt the Universal Constitution of Earth. This year, we plan to hold the first historical summit of the Supreme Council of the Humanity. What we didn't succeed to do yet? To attract more attention to our activity from mass media and intellectuals. To have appropriate support of national authorities, even in Greece, because we try to revive ancient Greek traditions, but Greek authorities are more busy with everyday problems to get money to feed the people, because half of Greece, let us say, are unemployed, don't have work, don't have food, and this is the problem why, let us say, the people is more busy with such problems. And already for these 7 years, I, as every year visitor of Greece, see that the situation in Greece became worse and worse, and it is, of course, worse. Not only in Greece, it is worse in Europe, it is worse all over the world. What another, let us say, problem, and we didn't succeed, to have to increase the number of Earth citizens enormously, as the current situation on the Earth requested, because you see the problems all over the world is growing, but to decide to solve them, it is possible only on the 5th level of our mentality, on the supranational level. Why we didn't have better results for the 6 or 7 years? Look, for example, World Economic Forum is working already from 1956, but they have, let us say, the discussions around the money, how to get them, how to divide them, but we are discussing things, how to stop war, how to stop changes in climate, how to raise the mentality of the people. And of course, for the 7 years, it is, let us say, not easy to reach big changes. But we have reached, let us say, a lot already, and I hope that our future activity will attract more attention from, let us say, the people all over the world, because I have a lot of correspondence and see that our ideas really are distributed and promoted on all continents. Why we do not have better results? The mentality of most of the people, including those in mass media and in governance, is so ignorant and undeveloped that it creates problems by itself. People lost fear. They don't care if to die or to live in inhuman conditions. On packs of cigarettes, by big letters it is written, "Tobacco kills." But many people continue to smoke. The same attitude is to alcohol and drugs. Therefore, when you will be leaving this building in the evening, you will see how many people making injections in their hands, even here in Athens and Greece, the country of, let us say, which people should live happy, but they, let us say, instead making their life worse, and instead of coming here, they put drugs in their body. People now do not take life as the top value in the universe. They do not care about their life, and therefore climate is changing. Nobody, let us say, take big concern regarding this question. Now in Canada, the temperature rise, in Russia rise, everywhere. But nobody wants to come to certain decision how to stop it. Nobody even discusses this, because on the national level, these discussions are without results. And we can discuss such things only on supranational level, what we are trying to do on our Gallico Symposium. What we plan to do in our near future. We should spread civic education wider and enlarge the number of your citizens on all continents. We should improve universal declarations which we have prepared for this session, to stop wars, to ruin nature, to improve standards of life worldwide. And of course, we should continue formation of organs of the governance of the universal state of Earth. Therefore, the agenda of this symposium, of the current symposium, they are mentioned in our plans, but I remind you that number one is the current situation on the Earth and the most serious global problems. The second question, the universal socialization of the humanity through uniform civic education. Number three, civil education in the world, how to foster the process worldwide. Number four, the universal constitution of Earth, the creation of the universal state of Earth governance organs, which already are in progress. And the last question, the formation and the first historical summit of the Supreme Council of the Humanity. So therefore, I thank you that you, let us say, found the time to come here and to join in our discussions. And so I declare our symposium open and wish you all the best. Thank you very much. We have as a national branch head the philosopher number one, Evangelos Moutsopoulos. But time was passing and he became older, and therefore when I called him, he now doesn't go to academia because he has no power for this. And he asked me to give his regards to the participants. But we have since this year the deputy of the head of the national branch, Mr. Jeffrey Levitt, and he also wished to greet you from his side. Please.
My friend Igor, ladies and gentlemen, most of the faces in the room I know, and I would just like to take a few moments to speak to you and first of all reconfirm the message from the president of the Greek chapter, Professor Evangelos Moutsopoulos, who I have worked with for many years in the past in cultural activities in a very special organization here in Greece. I also wish to bring the greetings of the European Center for Peace and Development in Belgrade, which is very much interested in the work that is being done in this organization. I also would like to say that we do have correspondence with Ban Ki-moon, and he is very well aware of this particular meeting, and I think that that is important to maintain such relationships. This is the seventh year in Greece, and we're reminded of Hypatia, who was a victim of Christianity. It's worth noting because there are many problems today that are multi-confessional problems, inter-religious problems, and of course we have seen this in our region, the Balkan region. Also, the mention of Aristotle, it's mentioned, and we have to take that name in awe because of the contributions that he has made to the world, first to the Western world and also to the global world. Among many other, of course, Greek philosophers, and since then, many other scientific works. And Igor has given us some idea of what it's all about, from diversity to unity, to building essentially a better world. Because he says that the first goal is for us to examine the condition of the earth. And the condition of the earth is in a terrible state. We know this, the scientific data is there, and we're closing our eyes to it. The politicians are closing their eyes to it, the business world is closing its eyes to it, and many other closed eyes there are. And he says the second aim is for the development of humanity. This is something that, of course, has been on the map ever since humanity took off. And we have to develop it further. But just in talking about the planet, let me just say that two things came out of Africa: the elephants and man. And man is serving to destroy the elephants. And they are today an endangered species. But so is man, because slowly, slowly, we are destroying the planet that we live on, the planet that we should nurture, and we're not doing that. So the state of the planet, that's what it's all about. It's also about the condition of the lives of the peoples who live on the state, on this planet, on the surface of the earth. Every person on this planet does not have an equal opportunity. Every person on this planet is different, and that's diversity that has to be preserved. The population everywhere is suffering. We have inequality. The disparity is phenomenal, and it is growing. The globalization, people tell you that things are improving. Yeah, there are certain things that are improving, but overall things are sliding downhill. And I will tell you, returning to the European Center for Peace and Development, there is a conference in October in Belgrade. Part of it will touch upon this, and I think that Igor will be present to also to explain more the work of this organization. There is discrimination. We see this every day, for example, in Greece with the migrants. There are some wonderful stories. The grandmothers of the Aegean, they have been cited for the Nobel Prize, and they should receive it. Will they? I have no idea. But there is also discrimination because there is hate and there is populism that has grown, and it's grown everywhere. It's not only grown in Greece, which is very apparent, but you can find it in Britain, and I'm sure that we will hear a little bit about that. So I think that we have many, many problems. We have migration in Greece, and we have austerity. And austerity is something that has been fostered on the Greek people. It has been kind of a long process of various events that have depleted Greece of many of its resources. And what do I mean by a resource in this? A well-functioning health system. The crisis has depleted the functioning of the health system. And I will just like to, if I can, Igor, just say a few things about, because you mentioned hunger in Greece. I have an editorial in an American journal, maybe about 4 years ago, that was a play on words from the cradle of civilization in Greece to the grave site of Greece, something like this. I don't remember my title. But in any way, it gave an analysis of what is happening in Greece. And of course, there are many countries that don't have the information systems sufficiently well developed to present these pictures as they should be presented, as well as, for example, America or Britain or France or South Africa, Australia, etc., etc. And so therefore we have to guess or intuit or project or extrapolate where we are heading. And at this instant, Greece is heading, I restrict my comments to health, Greece is heading to a demise in life expectancy. And you know there are certain systems that work on very short time constants, like the nervous system, and some that work on very long time constants, like changes in population, changes in demographics. Life expectancy is sliding slowly down. But we have another indicator, and that is infant mortality. If we take the data that exists for 2008, and we have a look at what is happening today, we can see that infant mortality based on the 2008 data has increased by something like 40%. Dreadful. Just remind you that not too long ago, 100 years ago, infant mortality was at 100. And in Greece until 2008, it was at roughly 4. And we also see that suicide, which didn't exist in Greece, it wasn't exactly zero, but if you make a comparison between what suicide was in Greece 5 years ago to what it was in Scandinavian countries, for example, it was essentially zero. And over the past 5 years, because of the crisis, it has increased. Now, in all these cases, when you look into the case reports and what have you, you will find that there may have been some evidence of problems, certainly, and that the crisis and what it has done to that person's life has made them much more vulnerable, because we come with vulnerabilities, different vulnerabilities. And in Greece, our children, who more and more are going to school hungry. This in our century, this in our modern Europe, that this is the situation. And this is a result of mismanagement by all of us, mismanagement mainly in Greece by politicians, but by all of the academic world that has not been so much involved. We have an academy that has not made any statements, to the best of my knowledge, on the new phenomena of bullying in Greek schools. This is something that could have been taken up, and something that, for example, our past president, a great physicist who now is in the United States, and we have a new president who I don't know who he is. But I think that these are things that the academic world and the intellectual world has failed to bring sufficient attention to. So today we have a situation in Greece in which we have lots of environmental problems, from small to large. We have also problems of austerity and health. We have problems with education, and I will stop here because one of the important tenets of this organization is that we can make major changes through education. Education is the tool to do things. We have to be healthy to be able to do it. And we have to have a stable political system and politicians who are supportive of this. And I'm going to end again on a Greek note, two Greek notes. First, I was in Briuni, the island of Tito, for a conference, and I went through a tremendous attack, not on me personally. It was great. We were drinking wine that night. But what is happening to the Greek system of health? And just a few things. The Swedish scientist, very well known, very prominent, very intelligent. Too many doctors, too few nurses. Two doctors in Parliament and you don't have a health policy. Doctors in Parliament and you don't have a health policy. Is that possible? Yes, it's possible because that is the situation. And he gave a description of the inefficiencies in the Greek health service. And then I was challenged to give some answer. Now, of course, to answer that in a few moments was impossible, so you always have to find some kind of alternative approach. And my answer was the following. To a great extent, Greece, and not only Greece, has turned its back on prevention. It's turned its back on public health. And here in Greece we have a school of public health that requires the support of politicians, and the politicians say they support it. But the reality seems to me that it is not supported as well as it should be. So that is one point on Greece, that we should be going back to the days of Eleftherios Venizelos, who actually put prevention on the map and public health on the map, and actually promoted a health system that would have been enviable by the rest of the world. The second one, and this is a humane story, a little while after that I was closer to Timi, who, by the way, has an interesting book, and it is relating to our sustainable future and what we can do, maybe, to be able to provide incentives and work to be able to move in that direction. But I was in Pula. I presided over a youth forum in Pula with 100 young people from all over the world. And I thanked them because I said that I am 2 to 3 generations removed from you people here. And it's so thrilling to be here with you. The story I want to tell you was the story of an Iranian young man, approximately 30. And he told his harrowing journey from his country, fleeing, looking for asylum for political reasons. And he went through Turkey, came through Greece. He was very positive about his experience in Greece, though it was very, very difficult indeed. And he arrived in Pula, where he took asylum in Pula. I reminded him the Greek story that the Argonauts in Greek mythology actually stole the golden fleece from the Colchidians, and fled with it. They were chased by the Chalcidians. Several groups of Chalcidians chased them, and none of those groups ever returned to Chalcis because they were ashamed of not having retrieved the golden fleece. One of those groups arrived in Pula, where they took asylum, just like that Iranian young man who had suffered a harrowing journey and survived. Thank you.